Okay. Hey, I think you just straight up went live. Let's go.
Nice.
Cool.
You gonna stream it on here too?
Yeah. You already know the vibes. I gotta make it watchable. This, pop this out. Minimize that. You go up there. Okay, and share screen. Want that one. And we're on Ty and Tommy. All right. Test. All right. That should be good. Well, let's just do this because it's getting late. Ty and Tommy. I think Ty had a really good matchup diff in this one. I think it was like really strong. Golbat putting in the most work on Tapu Bulu. And Sneasler, honestly. Like, neither of them can really do anything to it. I wonder why. I don't know. I'm looking at Tommy's team, and if I'm Ty, I'm probably just leading right Bombi and getting webs up like super early. Because like Finny can always come in on Blastoise. I don't know. Did you watch this game, Berg?
I watched it a little bit today. I was kind of wondering why Jolteon didn't stay in against Zero or.
I don't remember the set, but Zera Aura, I mean, both of them have Volt Absorb. So it was kind of just a stalemate. Jolteon's probably going to end up taking more damage from like a close combat or something, or like a Blaze Kick. It's probably why. But at the same time, it's like if he goes for CC into you, then your Shadow Ball does a ton. I paused on that play because Ty went into Bisharp on Hydreigon early. Ty texted me about it. He said that Bisharp was really just there for Jirachi, and since Jirachi wasn't on the team, Bisharp could just be thrown out for any reason.
Was simply cannon fodder.
Right. It's like, well, you're
Sent
useless.
Out to die.
I personally don't think it was useless, and that Tapu Fini was probably super safe, because the odds that Tommy was running Belch Hydreigon, Belch would be the only way Tapu Fini would be threatened by Hydreigon. Yeah, I mean,
what is even Belch? What is that?
It's a one-time poison move. That's 120 base power. But you have to eat a berry, I believe, before you can do it. Yeah. So, yeah. Actually, yeah, right. Like, it couldn't have gone for Belch immediately then, right? Because it hadn't eaten a berry yet, and there was no way to proc it if you just switch.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the way that it goes, then yeah, it wouldn't have been able to use it. Also, that crit was, I don't know if that crit mattered, but that crit was.
I think, yeah, Ty said he had 73% or 72.6 min on the crit, and it was at 73. So
yeah. Still pretty awesome to see a crit. We all love crits when it's not against yourself.
And Metasham just putting in a ton of work here. Just nothing Tom can do. Because it was a poison point on Sneasler, or Poison Touch, so it wasn't like it was like normal gem fake out. Still very strong fake out to get the kill, but as we can see, Golbat did not give a singular shit about Sneasler this game. Took more from the Brave Bird recoil than did from the Throat Chop. But yeah, I think Ty just really had a strong matchup here. Really good prep. Took care of business. That was that was pretty much it for that one. Okay, Joe and Nexus. I looked at Joe's pace before this one, and I think Joe actually had like a bunch of viable options on his team to possibly bring this week. But kind of fitting them into the team and making like a game plan with them wasn't super straightforward. So Joe's idea was to get Rain Dance up with P2 and then win with like Scarf, Vicious Ren, Dracovish. But of course, that only wins once you get rid of the Ogre Pawn because it has Water Absorb. And so Dracovish has Leech Life. And in theory, Ogre Pawn dies to 2 of them. And then you can kind of cook from there. That on paper is okay. But once you throw in to the mix a Terra Water Deancey, that kind of gets a little all over the place. It's tough because you lose a ton of defense this way, but in hindsight, maybe going with Terra Lycanroc over P2 and then going with Banded Dracovish might have been the play here. The reason I say that is because I don't think there's a consistent game plan to keeping the rain up with P2, because like it gets threatened by a bunch of stuff, and you basically can't do anything with Dracovish until you get rid of the Water Absorber. So if you're banded Leech Life, that's scaring Ogre Pawn way more than Scarf, because one switch in, it takes like 80% from it, and now you can like kill it with anything else on your team. And then maybe you try to win with the game with like Lycanroc or Mega Arrow. I think that's like my takeaway from this, because we will see. I think this was still winnable for Joe at the end in the end game, even though it was like pretty gross. Coiled up, teleport to Dracovish. Did he go for the Leech Life here? No. Okay. Yeah, that's a tough read to make. But right there, yeah, banded Leech Life. If that was a band on Dracovish, would have been crazy. Well,
hey, fellas.
Hello, Nathan. Welcome.
Hey.
We're currently in Joe and Nexus's game, watching this SD Ogre Pawn go to work.
Yeah, I see it.
I like that red card. I
like
don't think I actually watched this
thing
game
in the
yet.
early game. Do the positioning stuff.
Yeah, Nexus was really forcing the hazards, which, like, I think was okay on paper.
Was awesome.
But I felt like probably could have just been going for damage. Let's see. Yeah, Stone Edge on the Victini, Flamethrower. Good tech, bring the Citrus Berry on the Orthworm. Yeah,
that Orthworm set was cool.
What does Citrus Berry do again?
25% of your health gets recovered when you're under 50.
A
lot of times that 25% will be more than like what you can get back from leftovers in a game. So like that, but it's kind of tough. It's very game plan dependent on figuring out whether or not you, like with like my Ting Lu, for example, most of the time lefties are going to be better than Citrus Berry, because the way I would probably play it would be to allow it to get a lot of recovery. But something like Orthworm, it kind of just has that one opportunity to get health back. It's not going to be sitting there forever with lefties. But yeah, Joe, this is kind of a common trend with how Joe plays, where he'll get really aggressive with predicting switches when the opponent is in absolutely no threat to having to switch, right? So like Orthworm was outside of Flamethrower range after that, and so there was no reason that it had to get out of there. Victini could have came in. I mean, realistically, Deancey could have came in. So like the dual wing beat was just like a little bit of an overread. And that's kind of tough to do when you have something frail like Mega Aerodactyl. I think on that body press turn, it probably was safe just to go straight into Rotom there and then threaten it out with an overheat. Or the threat of an overheat. I know this Rotom's not actually packing it. A little special attacking Victini for the people.
Love to see it. There's
the Leech Life. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, get yourself some. Now, this is a good opportunity for Go-Goat just to bulk up. Yeah, I mean, you're going 1-for-1 with Orthworm's coils at worst, right? And you just bulk up right there, and then you don't care about the body presses. And yeah, you're not really hitting it hard, but it doesn't have recovery. You already see all of its moves. Plus you have milk drink, so like you're okay. So that could have been an opportunity for Joe to get some footing back. Getting rid of hazards here. Taking a chunk.
It's my boy Victini out there doing some work.
And the aggressive sub on the Volt Switch too. That was a really good play on Nexus's part. Yeah, Orthworm is too low. Tusk is the play, fair enough. Yeah, now after that, like Tinkaton is the only thing that can like eat a hit. I guess Go-Go can as well on the team. Let's see, Gigaton on the Iron D.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yep. And now, if I remember correctly, yeah, it's Iron Defense, Rock Polish, Diamond Storm, and Earth Power, or Earthquake, or something like that. Go-Goat actually, most likely, is able to just bulk up right here. Yeah, because that's only doing 30%, and until the weakness policy gets procced, there was no way for DNC to do more damage to it.
Yeah, I see that now.
Now, getting a crit Horn Leech would have been fine too, but like that's a 1 in 24, you know? It's not the most reliable. And then, yeah, with the +2 speed, it's faster than the Scarf Dracovish.
Did you guys watch any other games before this?
Just Ty and Tommy.
Cool.
So, pretty much nothing. Yeah, there it is, Earth Power. Yeah, so I think there was a chance that Go-Go could have just bulked up, and I don't know if it would have won the game because of like Blue Flare Victini or whatever it was running, fire type move, but it at least gets rid of this, and then, you know, maybe there's an end game with Dracovish. But yeah, no, it was just that was a good game. Really cool tech on Nexus's part. I'm happy to see a little weakness policy de-antsy action. All right, Graham and Ton. Oh, Graham cooked in the builder this week. Like, I think the first thing they sent me was Scarf Inteleon with Terrablast Grass, and then Ton pulls up with a mono weak to grass team. Like, yeah, Mousehold and Pelipper are neutral, but like they don't have good SPDEF. And yeah, you can't OHKO it with Scarf Terrablast, but pretty much all you have to do is get a little bit of chip on Mousehold and a little bit of chip on Pelipper, and Inteleon doesn't have to leave the field. So yeah, the game plan for for Graham was lead Charizard into Pelipper and just Mega and DD off rip and do a shitload of damage. It's like Zard's not doing anything to a rain team. And oh yeah, Mousehold gets the very lucky population bomb miss on the Rocky Helmet, so it lives. Calculated, some will say.
Oh yes, of course. Just like that para twice.
We prep for those.
When you have a Togekiss, that is what you prep for.
Togekiss has been working so far this season.
I love it. It's so cheesy, but it's also just like, it's good support too. It doesn't just have to do air slash flinching. Slow King in onto the rocks, make a Swampert. Love to see it. I don't know if this was going for a flinch, which it got, or like a prediction or something. But yeah, both live each other's moves. Swampert's not looking too healthy. And then special Swampert at that with Ice Beam. Yeah, this is a dead Alamomola if I've ever seen one. You ain't beating the air slash allegations. Crazy defog on Graham's end right there.
I respect it.
Yeah, it was a good play. It was just, I mean, at this point too, Pelipper's down. Graham just needs to have something die. And yep, GG. However, I've been there. We see the Inteleon come in, and we think it's going to Terra Grass. We see the booster special attacks, so we know this is faster. If it Terra Grasses and clicks Terra Blast, it just wins right now. End of story. Over. Done. But I've been there. I've played a game versus demo where I thought his Urshifu Rapid Strike had 6 moves. Sometimes in the moment, you don't actually pay attention to what you're seeing on the screen, and even though you see the booster energy, you expect the bundled and it's chipped. You still sometimes expect it to be Focus Sash, because why not? But yeah, it, as we can see, Graham finally goes to it. A lot of protects on Tan's end. Like Pelipper had it, Bundle had it. I understand with Alamomola. I don't really know what the protects were doing other than just scouting. I don't know.
I could see it as scout. See if something gets locked into a right, and so that.
Well, I can tell you
in.
right now, this thing is locked into Terra Grass because there is no other reason to click it.
Yep.
Yeah, not bringing Ferrothorn just basically won the game for Inteleon off rip. It was just a matter of eventually getting it in safely. But yeah, Inteleon got all 6 kills like a beast.
Not 6 O's necessarily, but Mons was 6 kills. I feel like.
Yeah, a lot of sweeps.
Or at least like 5, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's tough to get him on all 6 kills. Like, nothing can really just do it by itself, barring Clefable. And yeah, so like, you generally need to get a lot of chip, and in that process of getting chip, you might accidentally get a KO here or there.
Do you actually mind, not to get you out of order, but go into Nathan and mine's game? So that, because we're both on.
That's a great idea.
I'm about to hop
What a
off.
greedy request. I love it.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I figured, we're both here. We might as well go through it.
Berg plays
I'm
Pot
here
of
for it.
Greed. Okay, here, I'm gonna put this on slow, and y'all just tell me when to pause. Just let this thing ride, you know?
Pause here. I said before the game, I'm going Tornadus. And I'm going to use my cheese right away, except if it's Iron Valiant. And look what
just all
goes up
bleed
first.
was cool.
Yeah, the first game Tornadus came to, and it leads, and then it's just staring down probably the only thing it didn't want to see.
Yeah. You can keep playing. But that was not the play I wanted, so here comes Scissor and it's the pair, which actually probably was the best option, I think. Saving Tornadus from the para.
Yeah, and you needed the speed on Volcanion and Glade too. And obviously you wouldn't go Alakazam in that situation. I would hope not.
I thought about it, not gonna lie.
Except them spikes. Oh yeah, this is a Spadef Quillfish, and it only took 19% for -1 bullet punch, like a beast. Yeah, that's food. Huge burn here. Is that? I think it was still a roll at 41 to kill with another steamer option, but the burn just guaranteed it.
Yeah. Yeah, my calc was lying to me. I don't think it didn't take into account that it was Spadef.
I was watching the game live with Nexus and Tavi, and the Shodex calc puts Hisuian Quillfish in as Adamant Swift Swim. Like, it's 252 attacks, 252 speed. Because of course.
That's actually illegal.
Right, that's how you are supposed to use Quillfish, apparently. That's what the pros do.
On this, not look like that. I
Yeah.
did think about a sword stance set for a second, and then sort of thinking about the other number of like setup type mons I wanted on the team. I was like, I don't know if I need a third setup set, which just like spikes up and intimidate. Yeah.
Yeah, but Quillfish is the alpha setup set on the team.
I was really stoked about the matchup for Quillfish this week. Looked better than any other week yet.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, it did look good on paper for like Alakazam for sure. Intimidate for Scissor. Yeah, and like having a dark type too, because Berg brought Banded Gallade, so up until Quillfish dying, like Banded Psycho Cut was just kind of spammable. So yeah, that honestly probably altered the lead a little bit too, because they could have just been Gallade off rip.
Gallade is a problem.
Yeah, with sharpness it does so much.
This Steam Eruption killed me.
Skillful dodge. No, skillful.
I thought I was losing. I was like, this is it. This is the end. I'm done. Setting up. I'm fucked. Sorry, I can't say that online. Sorry, everybody.
Dude, don't worry. You're gonna get my channel 37 subs demonetized. I'll just to peel the curtain back. You need 1,000 subs and like 500 watch hours or whatever to get monetized. So you could probably say anything right now, and nobody's gonna know.
Anything.
You can say the B word.
Bad Steam Eruption.
Oof.
That one stings. Yeah, that was pretty huge. Okay, so Nathan, I'm assuming on this play you were expecting Tornadus to come in.
Which are we still on Volcanions in the mix?
Yep. So you went for the Stone Edge right here.
Yeah, I mean the stone like rock type moves were doing a pretty good chunk to Volcanion anyway. I was like, I don't think I was like pressed about pressing Earthquake. Yeah, because I thought he was going to switch into maybe something that was immune to Earthquake.
That's fair, and you're at 100% too.
Yeah. Stone Edge I think was a good play.
Yeah,
a little worried seeing that 7% though. That much.
I know that kind of tilted me a little bit. I was like, dang, should I have just Dragon Dance twice?
Yeah, I mean, it is Sash Alakazam, so in a world where we're here again, Steam Eruption hits. I think because like you still have Terra Steel available.
Well, Alakazam would have been broken by the spikes.
No, it's got Magic Guard, so it's always going to keep its Sash up. But then it's a mind game of, do you click Focus Blast into it, predicting Terra Steel? Do you click Psychic and then Nathan Terras and only takes like 15%? Yeah, I mean, there was a world where if that was at +2 speed, then it might be Jover at that point. But yeah, cleans up the kill here. We see the lefties Flygon. Big Sizz coming in.
Yeah, Scissor had depending on the set, at the time, I think I had like a 70% chance to kill with a Bullet Punch.
Yeah, I in my calc, I was picturing getting killed by Bullet Punch. And Cordell said something to me after the game. He was like, you got to play for the para. I was like, damn, you're so right.
That's so true.
And I think it does happen, actually.
Yep.
Next turn, yep.
Yep.
Well, I said, I think that's good, maybe. I think you see in the chat on the right there.
Yeah, I think if Flygon just stays in and you Terra right there, to eat the Bullet Punch, that only does like 15-ish% there, and then
that's true. Yeah, I forgot. I was like not even thinking about Terra at that point because I had kind of like resigned myself to Terra being like sort of middling at best, but that was a super specific encounter that it would have been correct.
Yeah, right. And it's I say this in every breakdown. It's so hard to think of that stuff when the pressure's on. Like I can sit back here with my feet up and I'm like, I'm good. Yeah, right. Yeah. You guys are both around a minute, minute to a minute 30. So like it's crunch time. The sweat's rolling down the face, airplane style. Like not the best situation to be thinking clearly. But yeah, I mean Terra right there into Steel. You hit the Fire Punch. Now this is Scarf Chomp. And I want to say right. And I want to say it was Jolly as well. So it would have been faster than Flygon still. But like if you're steel type, you can't hit it with EQ. You're not going to go for Draco.
Fire punch, I think.
Or flamethrower, fire punch, yeah. I guess that you would have had to lock into that. Then Heatran's sitting here waiting to chomp that up. And then overheat on the scissor switch into chomp. And then I think Nathan, you got a little aggressive here.
Yeah, obviously, I think I kind of felt like Iron Valiant was sort of like just like able to work that out, but the Scarf set was not good for me. Yeah,
for sure. And I wouldn't say it was the worst play going straight to it. Like staying in with Heatran would have been way worse, obviously. I think without the information though, because there was nothing that you could discern the speed of Chomp yet, then just going Gliscor right there, getting your Toxic Orb up, and then kind of playing from there in a brand new world is probably like the route I would have thought of.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
But it's also pretty juicy knowing that you're going to live the EQ that Chomp's likely going for into Heatran, and then you just got to like open season to attack into. So like I do see that merit. It was just a little too aggressive for my palate.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we find out EQ. Draining Kiss makes contact.
Which is crazy.
I think we found that out a couple seasons ago. I do remember that.
Homie's out here kissing.
It was I had Flame Body Carkol, and I switched into MJC's Enamorus that went for a Draining Kiss, and it smooched my little Carkol and got burnt.
Yeah.
So that was how I...
Last season, I didn't have access to Draining Kiss.
Oh yeah, the Psycho Cut too was.
I
was trying to decide between Psycho Cut and Sacred Sword because Psycho Cut would have killed just about anything,
but
Sacred Sword was going to do more to Heatran, and I was wondering and kind of really hoping you didn't switch into Heatran, which y'all didn't. So it was nice to go Psycho there.
That's pretty safe because like even
still doing damage, it just wasn't going to be
right. And Gallade's faster, so like say Nathan does go Heatran there on the Psycho Cut, and you're not banded, then what happens, right? Nathan's got to switch back and eat a Sacred Sword onto something else, so it it kind of nets out to be the same thing. Yeah, and Nathan, about the Enamorus, so that was MJC was running Therian with like this really bulky Iron Defense Calm mindset.
Cool.
So on a regular Enamorus, Draining Kiss isn't super viable because like having 100% health versus having 20% health is pretty much the same health on it. But on Therian, it can actually eat stuff. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got the turtle version to kiss my Carkol. And we see the offensive Gliscor faster than Gallade get the dual wing beat off. I was going insane right here. Because I didn't look at the paste before the game. I was like, what? It's fast?
That's specifically what I calced my Gliscor for. I was like gonna run a more defensive set, and I was like, fuck it, we're gonna kill Gallade with dual wing beat.
Also, before we continue, I want you to know, at this moment here, my cat jumped on my fucking lap. Jumped on my lap and opened up. I don't even know how, but opened up the Xbox overlay.
Oh, the Windows Xbox screen?
The window, yeah. So my timer was down to 15 because of the cat jumping up and me having to try to
was happening in the game.
Yeah, so me try to push her off the keyboard while clicking off the overlay while picking my move.
Yeah, you were locked in then.
It's a wonder that you didn't accidentally leave the
match. Yeah. It's FF 3v3.
Yeah.
Got to recreate the game.
I texted Tom Nevin after this, and I realized that, maybe going Swagger into a physically attacking Pokemon wasn't the best idea, but it worked.
Yeah, so 33% of the time you win the game. And 67% of the time Nathan wins the game on this play right here. And unfortunately for Nathan, fortunate for you, it happened.
It was so cool. Like, I love that that's what the game came down to, because like it was fun up until that point, and then it was just like, that's what we play for.
Exactly. Yeah, it didn't actually end up coming down to the para on the scissor on turn 1. It came down to the late game swagger.
It's such a cool move.
And the mirror herb proc, you're faster than everything at this point. Berg did make me a little nervous here, but I didn't realize the calc. I was expecting you to Terra Steel the Flygon on the acrobatics and go for like a Dragon Dance here, and then just reverse sweep with Flygon. And apparently acro, even if you did Terra Steel, was like 80+% to kill. So
yeah, I put in max HP, max defense, and my minimum was still right above the health.
So that gave me a heart attack, not knowing what was going to happen there. I was like, superpower's so free. Why aren't you going for superpower? Oh my gosh, it killed. But yeah, that's game of the week, easily. That was.
Oh, I'm glad you think so. It was just a lot of fun to play. I got pretty into it on the last day that I was prepping, because I didn't really spend a lot of time over the previous week because I was on vacation.
Right.
But then finally was having good ideas 6 hours before game time.
Yeah, no, this was super fun. And my biggest takeaway was neither team had consistent defensive switches, and looking at the pace kind of confirmed that. Nathan has traditionally defensive mons and Heatran, Gliscor, Florges, but they weren't being ran defensively. They were all very offensive this week. And then Berg's team, technically Volcanion, Scissor, and Garchomp can be defensive, but the entire team was just press the funny button, make things happen. So that always just leads to a really fun game of sacking back and forth.
And I think it shows because, if I did, let's say, if acrobatics did not kill, I'm dying next turn. That's obvious. I'm dying that turn, I should say. But I mean, yeah, it comes down to Alakazam and Scissor, which.
Well, Scissor's going to get parried.
Yeah, exactly. So Scissor wasn't reliable. I had Alakazam, which, Focus Sash would have been nice. But I don't know what I was doing back to you if you were Terra Steel.
Right. Honestly, Florges just getting killed by Psycho Cut was huge, because I was anticipating a scenario where if I got Scizor kind of out of the way for the most part, I could just sort of calm mind up and basically just keep draining kissing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, even Florges just at +1 was a massive threat because there was just no switch in. Yeah, that was a really, really fun one.
Yeah. Again, Nathan, that was a great game. Enjoyed playing it.
Likewise, yeah. Looking forward. It's cool to finally. I don't know. Last week I discovered some stuff too, but it's cool these early weeks in the season to be kind of learning the team. And now week 4, I'm super excited just without even having run any calcs. I'm oh cool, I got ideas.
Yes, exactly. You've scratched the surface down to find the heat. It's down there.
Sorry, Cordell, but kind of getting used to my team now. We'll see what happens next week. Also, I'm gonna pop off, but that was a great vid, and looking forward to watching it again on YouTube.
Appreciate you hopping in here.
All right, y'all fellas, have a good night.
Peace, dude.
Yeah, see you, buddy. I got a couple more minutes. I'm driving home from work, but
nice.
I'm gonna get off in 10 or 15 too.
Making sure I got everything still recording. Yeah, so we got Don and E here, and we see turn 1 kind of put my ears up a little bit. Gallade only took what was it? Only took 27 from a Volt Switch, so this is a very defensive Gallade. And we'll see later it was a Wish Protector, which is really cool to use a Mega Gallade defensively like that. And we got the Bon Me.
Yeah, the sandwich nicknames were excellent.
Earlier last week we did it's Mount Rushmore season, so we did Mount Rushmore of sandwiches in our group chat, and that was one of the top tier picks.
Dang, I gotta get with it next week. Come up with a Mount Rushmore.
The Cubano, that was on my Mount Rushmore.
So good.
It's so good. Just I need basically any restaurant, if they sell a kitchen sink in sandwich form, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I need. Yeah, this game was a lot of pivoting, and basically Don is setting up for the heat of the week. That's right, folks. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I feel like watching Don like play the positioning early in this game was so cool. Like it really felt like he had like calced for really specific stuff and been like rewarded in real time. Like it was just like really cool to watch that connect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if that crit on a Coco mattered right there. Did 88%. Seems like that did a lot for a defensive Glade, but it still has 165 base attack, so it might not have mattered. And I know E was worried about speed tying Glade with Iron Moth, but we saw how defensive it was, so terrain going away actually didn't matter for the Iron Moth, but it does matter when it's facing down a Roaring Moon and doesn't have a speed boost. Definitely needed that. It may have been packing Dazzling Gleam for this. And that would have been scary if terrain was able to stay up. Yeah, if he kept that around, that might have been kind of tough. Oh, and that right there was the Gen 9 coming in clutch for Vanillux. Took a ton from Draco, 62%. And then because of Gen 9 Snow defense boost on ice types, it was able to live the Earthquake. I mean,
that's what I'm talking about.
That's crazy. Right.
Cool. It made a huge difference.
If Don actually calced for Draco Meteor Mega Garchomp into Earthquake and Snow, I mean, just it's over. Like, what are we even playing this season for? Just give the chip to him.
That's what I was saying. It made him look so good, whether or not he did calc for it.
And then, yeah, Veil is up. Swampert's behind a sub. Somehow that EQ through the Veil still breaks the substitute, but I mean, we just see Swampert's basically unkillable now at +2 SPDEF and +1/+1 from the bulk up.
Yeah, there were like so many boosts on Swampert. I like couldn't like see the rest of the screen.
And then yeah, E's last hope right here is a crit Shadow Sneak, and then doesn't even go for it. Because I think Swampert was fast enough to get subs up on Rotom. And once again, another calc that comes into play. The Hurricane Confuse was pretty huge, but no Energy Ball on Moth to actually take advantage of it. And then yeah, here's the sub. And then Hydro Pump doesn't even break it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what is that about?
Right? And it's fast Swampert too. It doesn't have like a ton of investment in SPDEF or HP. Like it's pretty much near max speed, and it's got attack investment, I believe. And it's still just tanked that at +2. Like no big deal.
Yeah, that was sweet.
So yeah, that was a fantastic game. Swampert, heat of the week, easily. This one, I might have to give the Mon of the Week to Flamigo because I've never seen a better Flamigo matchup in my life.
Yeah, Matt's team is just begging to get hit by Flamigo.
Right, like scrappy close combat. What are you gonna do? Go into your Zoroark? Ha! Like, give me that ghost type. I don't care.
I just got home. I'll catch you later, but have fun breaking down the rest of these. I hope
absolutely. But Nathan, I appreciate your time hopping in here.
Yeah, it was fun way to enjoy the last little bit of my day before getting home.
Exactly. Well, you have a good one. I'll talk to you this week.
You too. See ya.
All right. So this is basically Cordell waiting and biding his time to get Flamigo in to win. Because it's just free. You break the Terra Shell on Terapagos, and that's pretty much Dodge's only hope. Oh yeah, crit Psychic. Yikes. Yikes. There we go, Lopunny on scoreboard. think that's its second kill this season, if I'm not mistaken. This was, yeah, such a good play in Cordell's end, going for the U-turn right there. I mean, if you're Dodge, you do just have to stay in. You know, you don't really have like a choice. And then, yep, no fake out. And I don't think, unless you just like risk the speed tie, I guess, but might as well not let Dodge choose whatever move they're going into. There's no boost on attacks, so Zygarde's pretty free here. Ton of damage, and then Brave Bird should OHKO itself. Yep. And at this point, it's just wait for Flamigo to come back in and do its work. The superpower tech into the mono normal team. Love it. And Cordell, congratulations. You were the first one to get the normal gym badge from Dodge. Riding the back of the pink Scrappy Man. In the Terra ground on the final turn just to seal it. It was awesome. Pretty clutch. But yeah, GG's. That was a really fun one to watch. Tough matchup for Dodge. Real tough. Not every week you're playing a scrappy Flamigo. All right, so mine game versus MJC. I'm actually going to end up making a video on this, on specifically how I team built. So I'm not going to go too in depth here to kind of force myself to actually make that video. Don and I should be recording tomorrow on just kind of team building stuff in general, but I'll give you the down and dirty on this. Dragon Dance Dragapult looked really, really strong. There was a awkward world where potentially Tapu Lele and Ambipom came, and I have Phantom Force and Dragon Darts, so there would have been a world where he could have just kept switching in between immunities on the 2-turn Phantom Force, and I wouldn't be able to do anything about it. And then I would have had to like break the cycle at some point. I did have a plan for that because, you know, it was likely enough that Lele was coming. I thought it was less likely Ambipom would because I thought Moltres and Mawile looked, you know, too good for it. But yeah, I didn't see Lele, so I knew like going for the DD immediately was good. And we see on turn 1 Galvantula is Unnerve, so I didn't want. I'm Lumberry Polt, but I just went for 1 DD instead of 2. If I went for 2 and broke through Para, there was a world where I might have just won immediately. Yeah, because I had sub. I could have possibly stayed in with Polt and then killed the Galvantula, ate my berry, and then been fine. But that was kind of a little too risky for my taste, so I just switch out. I go Crown here. Earth Power seemed a little unlikely. I was surprised to see the swap here. I was tanky enough to eat an Earth Power, so I just went for the attacking move. And like Slowbro comes in, that's fine. I Volt Switch out. And Polt's Clear Body, so I don't care about the wave or the webs. I eat the Thunder Wave because I have the Lumberry, so once again, that was fine with me. And here I went for the sub. It was kind of a weird play, honestly. I don't know exactly why I needed to go for the sub. I had a reason when I was playing. I don't remember exactly what it was. It may have been to bait another T-Wave. I think that was it. Because, yeah, if MJC went for T-Wave again on my sub, I get a free Dragon Dance, and then I might just win the game from there. Because Slowbro was so chipped. So yeah, I guess that's why I went for it. Hindsight, if I just went for the attack, I could 2-hit KO Mamo. I didn't have any info off of that shard breaking my sub, so this was a little risky, but I did calc. I think the only way, since I didn't see Life Orb, would be that Mamo had to be banded to kill me. And if it was banded Mamoswine with Ice Shard, that's a free Mawile, and then I can actually just go for Thunder Punch. Or maybe, no, I think I'd go for the Iron Head for the Nidoqueen swap. But if Slowbro comes in, I can just kill it with T-Punch the following turn. And I went with Thunder Punch on Mawile because I thought it was significantly more likely that Slowbro would be like Rindoberry, Colberberry, or Cassiberry compared to Wakanberry, right? So all those are for grass, dragon, or grass ghost, and dark resistance. And I don't have a pure electric type, so I didn't think Wakanberry was likely. That's why I stuck with the Thunder Punch. But Iron Crown is basically the only mon I have to switch into Scald. So this thing is on a timer. I can't just like do that indefinitely. But Moltres can always come in on Ambipom, maybe get a little cheeky Flame Body proc. And here, yeah, I didn't want to switch anything into that. And I wanted to just get rid of the web so that way I didn't have to think about it anymore for my slacking. Because at this point, slacking looks really, really strong. And y'all better be respecting that normal type, man. Tell you what, Dr. Zayas, he's coming for you. That was just me sacking Iron Crown there, so the U-turn was fine. I was just like, I either get free momentum on a knockoff, or you Volt Switch, and then same deal, I can just go into Rillaboom here. If Ambipom stayed in, I just would have went Mawile, same deal, hit the Iron Head. But, you know, Rillaboom, Cornelius, my boy, needs to pad those stats. I see the Smackdown Ambipom, so yeah, was not ready for that. And if you look at my team, right, I have 11% Pult, I have 20% Crown, and I have 15% Parrot and Moltres. I'm not trying to preserve differential here. What I'm trying to do is guarantee that Mawile can always come in for free. So say I get Parrot that turn, right? I just sack Moltres. I go for Flamethrower or U-turn and like get out for free, or I just die. And that's kind of what Pult and Crown are sitting there for, are just to die, so Mawile can come in for free and not have to take any damage. I knew based off of that set, U-turn, Fake Out, Smackdown, I mean, you know, either like triple Axle or knockoff. You know, that's at least the two I would have expected in the fourth move slot. I didn't think there was anything that was going to scare Mawile, especially with grassy terrain up, if it was like Bulldoze. Just go for the sucker there, on the switch, whatever. And then, yeah, I could have definitely stayed in with Mawile, but it felt like a really good time, especially if this was a U-turn, to get slacking in, and then I can just like kill something, because Nidoqueen's so low. And Beedrill comes in. I'm at 77%. I know I don't die to anything from this. So I'm just going to eat my Truant turn. I get crit by U-turn. Hacks. Hate him. Confirm my frustration. Now, realistically, what I should have done is kept this, because if MJC goes for Fell Stinger and happens to have Substitute as well, Fell Stinger is really unlikely on a U-turn set, so I didn't think that was actually happening. But there was a world where Mawile is no longer safe to live this hit. We see Drill Run does 53. I live a crit, so it was safe just to go for the Iron Head, not the sucker. But had I saved slacking, I didn't even have to worry about any other like Sucker Punch mind games or whatever, as long as I break the Substitute if that was the set. So yeah, I should have just went Moltres, try to get the Flame Body, and then go back to slacking and win. That was definitely the safest play, but obviously I still had opportunities here, because Mawile was able to live any hit. All right, Tavi and Demo to round us off. Let's get this done. It's 10 o'clock. Gotta wrap it up. All right, we see Screen Sableye, Calm Mind Hat. Yeah, this was the play. If Tavi saw Sableye on Demo's team, it was just lead Hat, get some Calm Minds up, and just start working. And yeah, it's working pretty well. But we see the Rocky Helmet Kiss here, and it puts it into heavy slam range. It's all right. Metagross can come in. Probably, I mean, yeah, with the light screen, you're thinking maybe I don't go Charizard. I probably still do, because you've already seen the heavy slam, and there's no way for Metagross to hit this outside of Thunder Punch, and you kind of need your Metagross healthy to be able to deal with Diancie and Primarina. So yeah, we see the Charizard come in anyway, right? So like that could have just happened the first turn. And there's the Weather Ball. Switch out because you're slower. And it should be a Diamond Storm. Yep. Does a ton of damage. Yep. EQ on the swamp. Demo played this so well. If you look at Demo's team, outside of Primarina, it is superbly weak to Walking Wake, but Walking Wake is completely walled by Primarina. And so Demo identified that early and realized, I'm not going to let Primarina take any damage and always use it for Wake, and I'll use everything else for the other 5. So very, very well played on Demo's end. And yeah, Sun went down, so you couldn't go Wake there. You still don't necessarily want to go Wake because of that Primarina. So this is the only turn I really disagree with on Tavi's end. Like, the sub was cool in the Leech Seed, but it didn't actually gain you anything because you're only doing 8% with Hydro Steam. So you switch out, potentially on like the Alluring Voice, which would go through sub. Lantern gets itself a nice little juicy kill. Lantern looks so good this game. It was so funny. Yep, Hennerine tanks. Doesn't do a ton back. Lantern, squishy, but it's AV, so that's why I took the Moonblast so well. Was not eating the Diamond Storm. Once again, DNC is just such a good Mega Pokemon. It's so strong. And yeah, that was an aggressive Wake as well. You didn't really have another switch other than like sacking Hatterene to go into it, but you still can't really do anything to the Primarina at this point. And yeah, Demo's just saving it. No reason to let it take that Solar Beam, even though you probably are fine because Sun's going to run out and then you can just go into DNC afterwards to kill the Wake. But yeah, just very, very strong game on Demo's end. Got a little greedy going for the Diamond Storm at the end. If that missed, no, it doesn't actually matter. Primo's fine. But I would have went for the Moonblast because I'm soft. But yeah, that is week 3 in the books. Let's switch over here. Sorry, I got Nexus's team pulled up. I was getting in my lab for prepping. Get standings. There we go. All right. Just want everybody to take a moment and acknowledge that the Violet division has a perfect palindrome of differential and records. It's so aesthetically pleasing. Just well done all around to the Violet division for pulling that off. It's kind of my fault on the Scarlet end because I've been sucking some diff. So my bad, boys. I'll try not to do that in the future. Try to play the aesthetically pleasing game. But Inteleon's 6 kills brings it up to number 1 in the kill leaders, tied with Medicham, but with a better diff. Jirachi's still riding that week 1 high, didn't even come this week and has 7 kills. Flamigo, highest Terra... No, Inteleon's a Terra Captain. What am I saying? And what else do we got here? My boy Rillaboom up at 7. I gotta pump some of my guys up. I'm being too even with my distribution with Polt with 3, Slacking 4, Iron Crown 4, and Rillaboom 5. I gotta pick one and just feed them. So Nexus, you get to pick whichever that's gonna be this week. But yeah, that will do it for week 3. I'll catch you guys in the Discord. If you enjoyed the stream, hit the like, hit subscribe. We'll be back next week, and Don and I have some actual videos coming out soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah.